Welcome to the Preludes podcast. Hey, welcome to the Prelude. Hey, welcome to the Preludes podcast. Welcome to the Peter Pan. We good?
We're on.
All right. Welcome to the Prelude. Delude. You good?
Yeah, we're live.
Hey, welcome. Okay, hold on. Hey, welcome to the Preludes podcast. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Anthony.
And we are two gentlemen pursuing a passion to start a business, a tattoo shop.
Like a regular Ben & Jerry's.
Like ice cream? Yeah. We've never done any of the things involved in launching a business, from negotiating with investors to drafting a business plan, interviewing and hiring staff. But we're going to go for it. What have you done?
It's a real mixed bag. I've been in the military, did that for about 6 years. Afterwards, I tried out everything from warehouses to coffee shops. You name it, I've probably done it.
Yeah, truly everything. On my end, over the course of my life, I've done some different stuff too. Been a lifeguard, kind of a life coach, kind of a lifeline for folks needing help. None of those things on my end or yours involve launching a business. So this is all brand new territory, and we're going to bring you along for the journey every week for the next
51 weeks now.
51 weeks. Expect a brief update on what we have accomplished along the way, what we've learned, and what we are shooting for in the coming weeks. And on that note, let's talk about our goals from last week. What was the first goal?
To be halfway through the business plan.
Halfway through the business plan, and how did we do?
Excellent. I feel we did excellent. We used the page number as a metric, and I think we can go ahead and throw that out because our business plan's gone from 80 pages down to 50-something pages.
Addition by subtraction.
However you want to look at it, we made a lot of progress, and we're through, thankfully. It seems like the letters and words part of it, we're into the numbers part, which I believe will go a lot quicker.
Yeah, so if you've ever drafted a business plan or looked at one, you know that the first 20% is mostly words and infrastructure, and the last 80% is mostly numbers and projections. So once you get through the words part, it kind of goes pretty quickly on the numbers part, and we're in the numbers part. Goal number 2.
Social media presence, and I have been pushed by Taylor to get that going, and I have failed in that regard. He started an Instagram. I got quite a few text messages from people asking why there was 2 Preludes tattoos on Instagram, which means I definitely need to get back in the hot seat and take control, because
you let the business admin guy do the creative design, and here's where you are.
Yes. Now, I have apprehension about social media. No reason to get into that. I think everybody should, but for the sake of this venture, it is necessary. I do agree. It's just not something I'm really interested in doing.
Yeah.
Working on it.
So, to answer that question more directly, we do have an Instagram at Preludes Tattoo, one word,
We have
at
2 Instagrams.
Preludes Tattoo. Follow the main. And how's the Facebook looking?
It'll look great next week.
All right, coming along. Give us another week. So those were the goals, but honestly, most of our productivity had nothing to do with the goals. We had a lot of conversations this week, some planned, some unplanned, that moved the needle forward. Talk a little bit about the ones you had.
Sure, I've got a longtime friend that I deployed with who is taking some interest in what we're doing and is talking about investing, which I'd like to actually talk about investments real quick. Something I'm learning, and it seems it's basic enough maybe to somebody who's interested in starting a business. Being that this is the first time I've had any interest in it, I didn't know the difference between equity financing and debt financing, which are 2 business terms for either you get a loan from a bank or a person, or you go and convince somebody that your company's worth however much and they get you know what, equity is more your territory.
Yeah, so the 2 types of funding. Equity funding is essentially where you determine a valuation for your company. Let's say we're $1 million tattoo shop and somebody wants to buy a slice of that $1 million pie. So for 10%, you pay us 100,000, and you get a little 10% slice of our tattoo pie. That's just a hypothetical. We'll see what our valuation is, but yeah, we're trying to decide which direction is best.
May I say?
Yeah, you may proceed.
That we each have a friend that has shown interest in both equity and debt, have been in the talks or negotiations, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
We can't. So, which is, from what I understand, a little out of the ordinary. If we were going a normal route and we didn't have friends that were this quickly interested, then it would have been a small business loan. It would have been a venture capitalist. It would have been somebody else or some other organization that basically wants to scrape the interest off and get their money back, or they want to make money.
Venture capitalist.
Or they want to make money forever off of us.
Right.
Your choice.
Yeah, so along the same lines, I spoke with the vice president of wealth management at Fidelity Investments, and we had three financing directions we were considering, and he just eliminated one, which was for us to self-finance for a lot of reasons. He said that's not the best direction. Consider debt financing or equity. So we're evaluating those options. Talked to him, talked to an attorney, actually ran into an attorney who offered his services to us. And then I think biggest and most important of all, the thing that all of this hinges on, is I interviewed our first potential tattoo artist, and we expect to have an answer next week.
Remember how nervous you were?
I was more nervous about interviewing the tattoo artist than about generating funding.
Yeah, he was texting me all morning about how nervous he was, which is not a natural state of mind for Taylor. So I've been asking him why nervous.
I think for me, up until that point, this venture has affected you and me, and maybe some investors, but whatever, they've got money. So when you start bringing in other people, now it's their livelihood, and now I feel like this thing has to work because it affects another person. Mm-hmm. If we fail, it affects us. If we fail, now it affects them. So it's all the more reason to try to.
You know what I get nervous about during this thing is when it's anything I don't understand. Yeah. There's outside of my wheelhouse. It's not nervousness. It's just a lack of confidence. So even when it came to like talking to my friend about this investment and realizing I didn't exactly know what I was talking about, I start to stutter a little bit. And so this is something I'm definitely learning as I go. Two things. I know we're not in the takeaway part of the podcast. It's just on my mind at the moment. Two things is you don't have to know everything. We're learning that really quick.
It's helpful that I do know everything, but go on.
Yeah, I don't have to know everything.
Kidding.
You kind of spitballing, and we're like not even halfway through the business plan, and we're talking to business owners. We work on this thing when we're out in public. We do it on purpose,
yeah.
And we're a little bit obnoxious about how loud we are, and then people show up to the table. Somebody offered us free merchandising. Somebody offered to finish our business plan. Somebody offered up guess how much rent is in this area? Well, I pay X amount of dollars, which was funny because we projected that within $100.
Yeah, our research pretty much nailed the expected rent cost out here, which was very, I think, affirming to know that, hey, we got that metric right, and we're seeing that a lot of our metrics are pretty close to accurate. So what you're describing, that was my takeaway, is yes, you need to do the business plan. Yes, it's essential to have a foundation, to have a plan, but it's also okay and helpful to be doing the things within the plan as you're doing the planning, having the conversations, generating the funding, moving forward with the interviews, right? You don't have to have everything done in order to start. It's okay to kind of be doing these two things side by side. And so for me, this week was a combination of nitty-gritty business plan, but also some challenging conversations, right? Interviewing an artist, and some exciting conversations, running into attorneys, other business owners, people wanting to do marketing, talking to friends and family who have ideas about ways to promote the business. And I feel like all of those pieces together are how you get this thing off the ground.
Sure, 3-4 weeks in.
Right. We've got it all figured out.
Right. Well, we feel very affirmed and we feel very confident. And I know the wind will get taken of ourselves at some point. And I think we're just loving that. There's a love for, we're doing this thing and we're not even doing it the way that we're supposed to by the textbook, and it's already working out, which kind of makes me go like,
Stick it to the man.
Yeah, we're gonna do it our way anyways. But not everybody gets friends that come out of the woodwork to invest. Understandable. Not everybody gets people throwing affirmation at me. They're starting to actually sound a little cocky, I think.
But it's all true. And there will be weeks where this is not the case. And we sit here and say, wow, didn't see
Right.
that one coming.
We told you we'd bring it whether we crushed it or we failed. Well, kind of crushing it right now.
Still a lot of excitement, a lot of passion. I feel very much like this is just at this point, right now, sitting here, a snowball going downhill, picking up momentum with a lot of
Is that an analogy?
energy and excitement.
Are we doing analogies? I got an analogy. This investment thing, I was thinking about this the other week. It's a lot like
Kurt Cobain.
no, but film production. I love making films.
Music, film.
So imagine this with me, if you will. I'm a director. I'm one of many directors in town. I got a hot script in my lap. I'm super excited about it. It's a horror movie, and Taylor's the lead actress. And we need animatronics. We need fake blood. We need the Wilhelm scream. But it all costs money. Where's the money coming from? But then there's every other budding storyteller in town with a dream in his hat and a roll of film in his pocket. And why you? Why you over anybody else? Well, why me? First of all, that's not the question. The question is, where's the money coming from? The money comes from producers and executive producers, the venture capitalists, the investors, the friends. Do you understand my analogy?
Right. So what are our goals for next week?
Whatever. Finish the business plan.
Finish the business plan. Let's get that puppy wrapped up so we can move on to doing stuff. We did interview an artist. I want to get an answer from that artist, so we have a direction to move in. And also, I would like to grow that social media presence a bit.
I'll get you 1K.
1,000 followers? Can you
Yeah.
do 2? I'd like to have 2,000.
1K in 1 week is a bit of a feat.
1,000 it is. Hey, thanks for joining us this week. We'll catch you guys next week. Until the ink hits the epidermis,
I'm Anthony,
I'm Taylor.
and we're still working on the outro.